So look, man. We got Canelo versus Crawford coming up soon next month. And I'm starting to see increasingly more comments on a lot of people's channels, like in the comment section. I'll be scanning through the comment sections, reading stuff. And you still got people 2 years later saying the only reason Errol Spence lost that fight against Terence Crawford is because he wasn't himself. It was the car accident's fault. It was the eye injuries. It was the drugs, antics outside of the ring. It was the strawberries. It was, all this other stuff, right? It was that's why Errol lost. Not because of the caliber and pedigree of Terence Crawford. So they keep discrediting this guy, blaming it on everything else but Errol Spence being able to beat Crawford. Taking all away from Crawford's skill set. Now, my thing is this, man. This was 2 years ago, and these people are not going to they're still not living it down. They're not letting it go. They're not letting it go. Even the gloves, the situation with the gloves, that comes up. He had sleep serum on his gloves, and, you hear all these excuses, bro. On and on and on and on and on. Never giving Bud his credit for that win. My thing about being 100%, he wasn't 100%. The thing is, like everybody that supports Bud's been saying, where was all of this talk when Bud won against Ugas? Where was this talk when Bud beat Danny Garcia? Oh, that's right. It wasn't there because he won those fights. He did what they wanted him to do, so there was no reason for the built-in at-the-ready excuses. All right? So I got to thinking, man. What if the shoe was on the other foot? What if Errol Spence Jr. was the one that put on that performance against Terence Crawford, right? What if Errol Spence went in there and absolutely destroyed Terence Crawford, beat him down, bust him up, everything, knocked him out in the 9th round, everything? Where would we be today? Would we be hearing those excuses? Would you hear those same excuses from the Bud fans? Probably not. Not to say that you don't have Bud buddies out there, like, I'm a Bud supporter too. You can call me a Bud buddy, whatever the fuck you want, cool. But I'm not a dummy, and I'm not a D-rider or whatever you want to call that. If he got his ass whooped, he got his ass whooped. Ain't no excuses over here for me. I could even support a fighter, but if he got beat, he got beat. I'm not gonna come out with all these excuses. Errol, man, Errol, man, you see how his nipples look crazy before. I told y'all, man, he was on something, bro. That's why he did that to Terence Crawford. Nah, Bud lost. He got his ass whooped. That's it. But interesting, though, right? What if Errol Spence was the one to pull that off? What will we be hearing from the Spence fans? You know what we'll be hearing? We'll be hearing, Errol Spence is an absolute beast, bro. I told y'all Bud was too small. I told y'all he didn't belong at welterweight division. It's man down all day long. That's right, it's man fucking down. Now let's say you had excuses coming from the Bud fans. Errol looked like he was juiced up, man. His gloves looked loaded. That's why he was able to do that. He didn't do the same thing he did to other fighters. He's able to do that to him. And then the Errol Spence fans will go, shut up. Y'all just making excuses. We told y'all he was too small. We told y'all he was too little. He was young. He was light in the ass, like Errol said. We told y'all it was man down. Now y'all making all these excuses over here. That's what we would get. And the funny thing is, obviously that's not what happened. Terence Crawford destroyed Errol Spence. And you hear the Errol Spence fans 2 years later still saying the same shit. And then the Bud fans are countering that. But we have a reason to, because we know Bud, it was nothing, his gloves wasn't tampered with. He was not on juice. He's never popped for anything. It's never been proven. Even if you think he is, where's the proof? Proof is everything. What's crazy about a lot of these people, like, accusing people of shit? Suppose the cops grabbed these motherfuckers up out of their cars, locked them up, and said, hey, there was a murder like 5 hours earlier, and you had the same color as the perp had on. You are going to jail. We'll charge you with murder. What? How can you don't have proof? I was here. I didn't, I was right here. I could prove it to you that I was over here. Nah, we don't need your proof. You going to jail for this murder. You did it. For certain you did it. You know why? You know why we say you did it? Because we said so. How would they like that? You know? But you can't expect that from people. People don't look from the outside in with shit. People don't like when the same thing happen to them that they do to other people. That's just like human nature for the most part, right? But I always wondered that. Guess we'll never know now, but I always wondered if it would be the same thing if Errol Spence would have won. If the shoe was on the other foot, what would happen? What would the Errol Spence fans say? Never mind what the Bud fans would say. I want to know if two things. If the Errol Spence fans will get upset because people are making excuses on why Bud lost, and I would love to know what they would say if he won, like the shit that would come through their mouth. I know a lot of it would be like, I told y'all I was man down. I told y'all EJ get busy. EJ's the body snatcher. He snatched his eye and all this other shit. You heard a lot of these bum ass channels saying and stuff like that. It's crazy. Anyway, just something I was thinking about in an alternate universe, I guess, right? It's your boy Rebel Life Boxing, man. Like, subscribe for more hot content. I definitely got more coming on the way. There you go. Y'all stay tuned.